Hey y'all, Michael Lunsford here, and well, the fire rating came out a couple days ago. You went from a 5 to a 6 in the unincorporated parts of the parish. I got the article here, KATC, a couple 3 days ago, and it took me a little while to get the other documents because, I don't want to come out with data if I don't have data. So let's go through this article first, and let's see what it says. KATC, the title is Poor Fire Rating Will Increase Homeowners Insurance in Unincorporated Lafayette. Now, I've checked with a couple of agents. They don't necessarily believe that's true. The article says it could go up to 20% increase. They're not feeling it. If you're in insurance and you know this stuff, give me a call. I'd love to chat with you, but my understanding is 20% is way out of bounds. So, it's in the article. But two major things jumped out at me in this article. Item number one, the elected official who wanted this tax to pass said December's tax proposition, listen to this now, would have fixed the issues with fire protection in the parish. Okay. Well, we all know that collecting money doesn't fix anything other than account balances, like the libraries. So what is this going to fix? I mean, what are we going to spend the money on to fix things? Now, there's a list of things in here. One of the fire chiefs up here said that there are 3 reasons why the fire rating went from a 5 to a 6. Item number 1, not having adequate water. Okay, great. So the elected official says the tax would have fixed that. Let's go look. I happen to have my file here from when we talked about this tax last time. I've got the ballot language. This is from Resolution R-056-2018 from September the 4th. And I'm going to read you the ballot language. It's down here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's about $4 million the first year. It goes up every year after that. But for the purposes of maintaining, operating, and paying expenses for fire protection services within the district. Listen now. Listen for water. For acquiring, constructing, and improving fire protection-related facilities, machinery, and equipment. Did you hear water? Nope. Strike 1. Water's not included in the tax. It would not have fixed. Number 1 item, number 1 reason why it went from a 5 to a 6. Wouldn't have fixed it. Item number 2. Not having stations in the right locations. Okay. So I don't know if you remember this. A number of years ago, what was it, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. Maybe it wasn't quite that much. Lafayette hired an out-of-state firm to do a comprehensive plan. I want to say it cost about $25 million to do that plan. And the idea is they were going to tell Lafayette where to put everything. Subdivisions. They were going to put these firehouses. They were going to put police. They were going to put all this stuff in this comprehensive plan. Comprehensive, maybe it's just me, but that sounds pretty comprehensive. Comprehensive plan. So the number 2 reason why your fire rating went up was because they built the fire stations in the wrong locations. I'm going to call that strike 2. Number 3. Not having the number of stations available to provide fire protection. Okay, I'll buy on that. The language does say that they're going to build stuff. There's construction is listed. So we could make a logical argument that, yes, you would build more firehouses. Okay, so a couple of problems with that issue. Number 1, would those firehouses be built in time to get around this fire rating of 6? No, they would not. In fact, it takes probably about a year to get them built, and that's if you have a plan and you have everything ready to go. They don't have bonding, they don't have money, nothing is lined up. So it's interesting, I went to one of the town halls during the process they were proposing this tax, and they got through the presentation, which I have a copy of if you like it. It doesn't include a list of where they plan to build firehouses. And I think it was a good question, so the presentation was over, I raised my hand. Hey, where are you going to build these firehouses? Oh, we don't have a plan to build firehouses right now. So I don't know if that means now or ever, but they told me back then, I can't show you a plan to build firehouses. I don't have one. So that was basically the gist of it. So if they didn't have a plan back then, they don't have a plan today. If the tax had passed 2 months ago, magically firehouses wouldn't have just grown in 2 months. So you'd still be at a 6. So would it fix it down the road if they decided to do that? Maybe. It is one of the minor things in the report. And that was another thing I asked the reporter. I said, so you've seen the report and you know why it went from a 5 to a 6? I haven't seen the report. I just called the bureaucrats and the elected officials that wanted the tax to pass, and they told me all the terrible things that were going to happen effectively because the tax didn't pass. Well, anybody would have expected that. That's the answer you're going to get from those guys. So my thing is, we're going to go and we're going to look at the actual documents. So I hit the PIAL. They're not a public agency that I know of, so they didn't respond to my request, and I really have no other thing I can do, but I walked over to the firehouse. Literally, it's right next door. And I asked, hey, can I get a copy of the PIL report? Sure. Here you go. Hey, can I get a copy of the last one so I can compare and see what happened? Sure. Here you go. So I have them side by side. I went through this. It took me I went through it a couple times to make sure I understood it. It's a little weird, but I get it. And I found exactly where the change happened. Now look, I'm going to post this, and you can go get this. The easy thing to remember, and it's a sliding scale of 1 to 10, but it's really a 0 to 100, and it's weird. But the page here that talks about what the score is looks like this, and I wrote in here in red. This was last time, 5 years ago, 50. And this time it's about a 44. So we're going to call this, we need 6 points. We've got to find 6 points to get you from a 44 to a 50 so you get a 5 rating. Okay, so where are we going to find that? At the very last page. They always hide the best stuff at the end, don't they? Last page. Last page. Here's what it looks like. Okay, and this is this is the summary of what's going on. The pencil that you see there, if you screenshot that and follow along with me, or if you download it and look at it, the pencil is what happened 5 years ago. The black on here is actual this report. So we could see side by side what happened and where it went. So where did the 6 points go that you lost? First item, lost 3 points and went from a 21.5 to an 18.5. That's 3 points. Fire department. Well, I went and looked. It's a personnel issue. They said they need to hire more people. Well, they told us that in the debate for the fire tax, but that's not listed here. But they need more people. So I went and looked. And believe it or not, 5 years ago, the fire department had 263 people. Now they have 285 people. Out of a possible score in this section of 15, last time they got a 4. This time they got a 1.8. So they got half. Does that mean they needed to double their number from 260 to over 500 people working for the fire department in order to get the rating to stay the same? That means it would need tenfold increase. You'd need, what is that, 2,000 people working for the fire department to get a 15? I don't know. I just think that to me, you have more people. It's 18 more people now than was back then. Why did the rating go down? Good question. But the other item on here, and this is the number one reason, right? Water supply. You remember the news article? Water supply is the number one reason. They lost 7 points in the water supply. 7. So if it wasn't for the water supply problem, you'd be at a 51, and you'd have a rating of 5. So the text doesn't fix that. And let me ask you something, too. Who's telling you this? Citizens for New Louisiana, the Lafayette Citizens Against Taxes Facebook page. That's who's looking at this, and that's who's telling you what's really going on based on the public records that no one else is looking at. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And look, if you want us to continue to do our good work, become one of our supporters. We'd love to have you. We need volunteers to help us do some of this digging around and getting some data together. We need financial support. We need a lot of things to grow this to another level and to get a bunch of employees and start going into more parishes and looking at more things. So if you want to do that, go to our website, newlouisiana.org. Step number 1, sign up for our newsletter. Get that coming to you right away so that when we put out this information, you're getting it first. Step number 2, become a donor. You can go in there and donate one time if you want to help us out, just one time as a result of something like this, or become an ongoing contributor, and it does a monthly recurring. And that would be a tremendous help to us. It would help us to grow, bring on more people, do more research, and get this kind of information out to you. There are other options too. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And absolutely be sure to check out our Facebook page too, Lafayette Citizens Against Taxes. Until next time, y'all have a good one.